It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey folks, today I'm taking a look at the expansion to Camel Up Supercup. Supercup has a few different modules in it, and that does tend to be my favorite kind of expansion, a pick and choose expansion. It's like a buffet. You just get to take whatever you want and not play with whatever you don't want, right? So I really like those. Is this one good? Does it strengthen the wheeling and dealing flavor of Camel Up? Let me show you how it works, and then I'll tell you what I think of it. The game basically comes with 4 modules that you can add to the base game as you see fit. You can throw them all in. You can do just the ones you like, however you want to do it. The first one is this racetrack extension and support dice. The support dice go on here like so, and then you have 1 per camel, and they only have 1s and 2s on them. And the way that works is that whichever camel is losing as you start each new leg, you are going to take that die and you're going to add it to the pyramid. And so that camel is going to move twice. And, as the first die comes up, that's fine. You put it where it goes. As that support die comes up, then you're going to put it down here. Especially if you play with a rule, which I recommend. This is sort of like a variant rule, which says you can return one of the movement tiles to then take a die from here and throw it in the pyramid as well. You can do that at the end of your turn. And it really helps you. You give up that coin, which you would have gotten for the movement tile, but then you really get to help out one of the camels. It just livens up the whole thing, really. So I highly recommend, if you're going to play with this module with the extra track and the support dice, that you use that rule. So that's one. That's the first module. Second module is the photographer and the camera, which would go right here. And this cool little camera contraption, very, very neat. And the way that works is it's quite simply a new action. You can take the photographer action on your turn. You would take the tile, put it in front of yourself, and then you take the camera and point it at any one spot on the race. And so, for example, I could put it here, pointing at that 14, let's say. Obviously, these camels would hopefully be a little farther ahead. But the way that works is if any camel moves, let's say I roll white 1, and then I roll blue 1, and this all moves in front of the stack there, right? So as you can see, I got all 3 of these, and they move in front of the camera. As soon as any camel moves in front of the camera, whoever the photographer is going to score 1 coin for every camel in that stack, and then you return the camera. So the way that works is you put the camera back in here once you've made your money, and somebody else could then take that action and again set up the camera pointing at any one spot and possibly take a picture. That's a very neat addition to the game. The other modules, number 3 is the positioning bets, which are these tokens here. And the way this works is, let me move the camera out of our way for a second there. The way these work is these are going to go here like so. And on your turn, this is yet another action you may take. And you can use them to cover up one of the betting tokens that you have previously taken, because you now realize that that's not going to happen at all. So let's say I've taken this bet, and I know the orange camel is going to probably come in 4th, let's say. Well, I can take this and cover that up, and now that says that if he does come in 4th, I get 3 coins. Any other position at all, I actually lose a coin. But it's a way to get yourself out of a bad situation. If I did this and then lots changed, there's no way he's going to be 1st or 2nd, well, then I can do this and hopefully make some money out of that. You have 1 of these for every position, from 2nd to 5th position, and they're all 3 coins. So that's also neat. It lets you change these bets after you've made the mistake of taking one. And then lastly is the betting partnerships here. This is the last module, module number 4. This game, by the way, includes 2 new characters, so you can now play up to 10 players. But these betting partnerships quite simply let you, as long as someone else doesn't already have a betting partner, well, you can become their betting partner, and now you can score one of their tiles, one of their bets that they have taken. This allows for a little less getting hosed out of something you were hoping for, especially in a game with a lot of players. They recommend that you do this only in games with 6 or more players, so that all the blue tiles it's clear blue's going to win. All the blue tiles just boom, 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 they're all gone. Well, then you can have a betting partner and still get some coins out of that bet. They still score it, but so do you. And that's pretty much it. As I said, you can combine all 4 modules. You can use whichever ones you want to. If you are not doing the track extension, for example, but you still want to do the camera, then you can just take this and flip it over and use this side instead for the camera and the tokens that let you change your bets there. And that's that. The game otherwise plays the same, but you have a lot of modules now you can throw in for a little extra fun. Camel Up is a game that originally did not impress me, but the more I played it, the more it did grow on me, and now I consider it to be a pretty solid family game. I do think it gives you a nice amount of excitement, and that like, ooh, come on, Camel, lets you cheer for them. It makes you etch bets and hope that, you come out on top. You sometimes do something that does not seem like it would work, and ooh, it does work. So, the expansion, I actually think that it kicks all those things up a notch. I really like the extra track. I think that's my favorite module. It lengthens the track, but it's the dice that really make it. I mean, those dice that's a really cool twist. Throwing an extra die in there for the camel that's losing already, so that's cool. But then if you play with that rule that you can return a tile and add another die in there, now it starts to get interesting because you don't know what's gonna happen, and it just the stand up and cheer thing becomes even more pronounced with those extra dice. So I that's a great module. Unless I'm teaching somebody the game for the first time, maybe, or I'm playing with folks that are really not used to games whatsoever, I will probably throw that in pretty much every time. The other expansions, I like the camera a lot. I think it's my second favorite module. It's clean. It's a simple action. I like the idea of it. You're the photographer. You see a stack of 5 camels come by. That's going to be worth some money. So that's cute and clever. And again, it's really easy to implement. Oh, you can also take this one action. Awesome. The tiles that let you change bets after you've taken that bet, I like that all right. I've seen it used very smartly. I've seen it being put to good use, but it's not that I might necessarily throw in every time. If you made a bad bet, then you made a bad bet. I'm okay with that, In a game with more players, it's a little more important, but that one I might take or leave. And then the last one is the betting partnerships. For a game with a lot of players, I would definitely use that. I think otherwise, a game with 6, 7, 8 players, and this goes up to 10, which is insane. I don't think I want to play with that many, but if you want to play with an insane group, that's fine. That's too much for me. But I would probably use it with 6 or 7, maybe even 8. Because otherwise, you just do not get a shot at all at something you were hoping for. I mean, at all. There's just too many players between. Someone rolled a die, blue jumped ahead. I keep saying blue. I guess blue is my favorite camel there. Orange jumped ahead, and everybody went, oh, orange bet, orange bet, orange bet, and you got nothing. I mean, you're like, okay, I guess I'll move the camels again. So I like that betting partnership as a way to strengthen the big player count. So overall, I think Supercup is a great expansion. I recommend it if you've been playing Camel Up and you're ready for something new. You want to spice it up just a little bit. I think this has the right amount of new stuff, but it does not take the game and rewrite the whole thing. It's enough new flavor that you're going to be interested again. You're going to want to gather up the group again and roll some dice and play some bets. But it does so, again, in a clean, sort of gentle way. Here's some modules. You can just try one at a time, or you can just go crazy and throw all 4 in there, boom, all at once, and have some fun. So, I recommend it. That is Camel Up Supercup expansion.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.